So g'day, how you going? I'm just going to give you a bit of a demonstration as to how import digital contacts, and in this specific instance to a DJ-MD5. This is probably the easiest thing you can do before actually delving into code plugs. You'll need the CPS program for whichever radio you've got. It may well be fairly consistent, the interface across certain radios like Anytones, Alincos. What you should first do is install the program, and then whatever code plug is on the radio, dump that down onto your computer. So with the Alinco plugged in, you'll go to Program, Read from Radio, read the data from the radio. So we'll click that just in case. Not reading from the radio, so we'll just cancel that and we'll just see what's going on. The Alinco is fairly easy, it's just got a straight USB cable there. If we go Command X, Windows 11 here, Device Manager, and we look at the COM ports, it'll be COM4, so we probably haven't set that up properly in the program. So we'll just go set COM. It's set to COM5, not COM4, so we'll go to COM4. Okay, we'll give it another go now. Program, read from the radio. Do you wish to continue? We'll do both, and away we go. Okay, and it will always come up with some kind of confirmation. Read data completed. So we'll just go File, Save As. We'll just, in this example, save it to your desktop and call it radio dump, and today's date, which is 20th/01/2023. Okay, so that's just on your desktop. Now what we need to do is go get onto the interweb and look for the digital contacts, which you can download from radioid.net. So you can see here it comes up with your details, and I'm not too worried about showing you these details because this is what the digital contacts list is all about. Generally, when you have a conversation on your DMR radio, if you don't have digital contacts loaded in, it'll just come up with the other contact's number. My number is 505-0827. If you don't have digital contacts loaded up in your radio, it'll just come back as 505-0827, and you're relying on that person using voice to identify themselves. You can come here and do a search on anyone. So let's just, for example, do a search on me, 505-0827, and online search, and DMR user ID search. DMR ID 505-0827. Okay, and you can just do a search on that number and it'll come up with user results down here, me, VK2HEY. You can just come up here and you can enter that number and go, yeah, okay, well that verifies that I'm talking to who I'm talking to. You can also bring this information up on the display of your radio, particularly the Alincos and the Anytones. To do that, we can go to onradioid.net. To fetch the file required to load into the radio, it has to have a list of pretty much every entity in the world, because that list is stored on the radio. It's not fetched from anywhere on the fly, and you have to keep this database up to date if you want. It's not mandatory that you do that. This is just something which makes DMR radio a little bit more effective. what most people do is they go down here and they download user CSV, but that is a very large database. That is every DMR entity known to radioid.net in the world. My recommendation is to use something smaller, because that user CSV file takes quite some time. It can take about 5 minutes or more to load into the radio, and then it could produce an error, and you might not be real keen on trying to find and troubleshoot that error. For us in Australia, this being possibly the first time you've downloaded digital contacts, my recommendation is just to download the Oceania contacts list, which it will build for you. So rather than go to database and data bunch, go to contacts and generate files. Okay, to step 1. All right, there's 3 steps. Step 1 is to choose which continent, country, region, area, whatever you want to use. All right. So let's go to Australia and Oceania. Okay, you just click that there. Continue with 4,954 known contacts. Just continue on with 4,954 contacts. Okay, name of this contact list, Oceania. Okay, like that. Continue again. Alright, and it displays what it's done before and what it's going to do now. It shows you the difference between the 2 files. We'll just delete this one, which I presume was the first one. There's other things it can do, email on difference of, but you can play with that later. Okay, we now go on to step 2. Available radio formats. Make, Alinco, model, DJ-MD5. Okay, you can then add that, but if you've been here before, it'll be down here as my radio formats, and it says here Alinco DJ-MD5 source radio ID. You can either delete that format, alright, but no, we've considered that already added. It's down here ready to go. Okay, step 3. CSV, XLSX. This is sort of, I think, an Excel spreadsheet format. CSV is the contacts format that we're more interested in for the Alinco. You just go Oceania. It'll prepare the download and then ask to download it somewhere. Alinco DJ-MD5 Oceania CSV. You can date it if you like. But we'll put that on the desktop. Save. And it's all done. So we now go back to the Alinco software. Even though we did a dump of the code plug for the Alinco before, if you don't want to change the code plug, if you want to leave it intact, you can. So what you have to do now that you've downloaded the CSV file Oceania, you have to go to import, and then digital contact list, and then we go to, in this case, Alinco DJ-MD5 Oceania CSV, and you'll see that it's much smaller than the huge user CSV database, 368 kilobytes compared to 15,023 kilobytes. So Oceania, open. It will then import that if you click import, and it should do that fairly quickly. Loads it in the tables and then says import complete. Okay, and then we close that. Now the CSV file, the Oceania database, is imported to the CPS. It's very important to do that step. I had neglected to include that step in the first version of this video that I made, and so therefore what was happening was that when you went to write
this database to the radio, it was the pre-existing database, not an updated database. You have to go through that import procedure to bring it into the CPS, and now we can write the database to using the CPS to the radio with the updated information.
So we can go to program, write to radio, and then you can just take off other data. And the only thing it will load is this digital contact list for by itself. You just press OK. Okay, and I'll write the contact list, the digital contact list, to the radio. And for Oceania, it doesn't take very long. If you decide to put the world contact list in there, it will take much longer. And that's it. That's all you do. So you should now be able to go to your radio, and if you're on VK DMR or you're talking to someone in Oceania, it should come up with their name, their location, as well as their ID number. Well, it might show their ID number, I don't know. Alright, that's it. Take it easy.